Saturday, we're like, yep, we're just waiting for people, the tourists to go ahead and finish up. So we had sheets around her pen. And about where you and I are at, I could see her, and she was on her side, she was breathing quite heavily, and she looked up at me, and I'm like, sweetie, it's okay. I know you don't feel good, it's okay for you to go. It's all right. We love you very much. Thank you for everything you brought to us. Just talking with her for a good 5 or 10 minutes. So she's on her side. She looks at me. She kind of smiles. Then she then stretches out and takes a deep breath. And then she faded. Then she passed away. So for me, it was quite an honor to be there. And I'm convinced she's the one that reached out to me and said, please, come up. Come and cross over, because she had heard me tell her story and her sister's story for 18 years. But what happens after that event occurs, all of, like we kind of heard in the parking lot, all of the lions give a chorus roar. It goes on for like a minute and a half, and it's thunderous, man. It is thunderous. It goes on for like a minute and a half. Now that gesture is open to individual interpretation. I personally like to think of it as them releasing the spirit of their friend back into the universe. So I know you guys get this as far as they're not an it, they're not a thing. That's what we try to teach.
You're making me cry.
I didn't mean to do it.
You see my eyes?
I had to bump my lip to keep from crying too. So
I know.
That's the other part of why we're here, is the education piece of it. Yeah. It's cool to know the background and where they came from and all that, but just to reinforce the fact that it's not an it, it's not a thing, it's not just the lion, it's not just whatever, it's a sentient being.
Yeah.
And if people have the whole backstory as far as why you don't want to get your picture taken with a tiger cub, no judgment, I totally get it as far as wanting to have that experience, totally get that. But if more people know the backstory, maybe over time, and maybe in our lifetime we can break that breeding cycle. Because when the cubs are taken away from mom, she immediately goes back and peak. And they can get 2 or 3 cycles of cubs every year, again generating $80,000 in profit during the cycle, then being able to use, And that's stuff that industry doesn't want people to know. They want to go ahead and just linger in the dark. It was funny because a couple of years ago, I'm like laughing at myself saying, I talk about being able to have a lion or tiger as a pet. I wonder if there's a website out there called buytigers.com. I'm kind of laughing as I'm saying this. I'm like, there can't be a website called buytigers.com. There's a website called buytigers.com, but you need to be the outdoor type. For $2,500, you can own a tiger cub, but you've got to be the outdoor type. It'll come from their breeding facility in India. You can have a well-behaved 5-month-old tiger cub. There are more tigers being kept in the backyards of people as pets than there are alive in the wild today. Oh, wow. Last year was the first year in 100 years that seen a lift in the population in the wild. It's now up to almost 4,000, up to 3,800. There are at least 10,000 tigers being kept as pets in people's backyards. Of that, I believe the numbers suggest that 5,000 from the state of Texas. So, and how are we doing on time today, by the way? Made you guys need to be out of here?
I was going to say, we just have to beat the rain.
Okay, and thank you. And your name, sir?
Mark.
Mark, let me know if I need to get the group moving, because my typical tour lasts about 2.5 hours. But yeah, I will try to go and do that. But I will not take offense if all you have to say is Carlson. I don't know what you're talking about, because I want to get you guys in and get you back out. So let's start over here. Arms, I'm like, dude, love your tattoo. So he's standing in front of her pen, and I see Jasmine in the back of her pen. She looks at me, her ears go back, and she starts doing a straight line for this guy. I'm like, sir, do you mind moving? He's like, nope. And she got out of the trance state. So they remember. So that person with that physical description is somebody that probably was toying with her, was probably yelling at her, screaming at her. Now I remember. Exactly. If it wasn't you, it's somebody that looks like you, so you're going to pay the price. You're going to pay the price. Now, you all have been to zoos previously, of course. What's your, out of curiosity, what's your overall impression of zoos? Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, we wouldn't be here. Because I mean,
like 2 blocks away from me.
oh, you do, okay. Because I'm sure you used to be able to hear the lions roaring at
I
night.
had one that was my favorite. I used to go and talk to him all the time.
Oh yeah. I don't like to. I think some do good work, but other ones not so much. I'll leave it at that. Whereas here, this is their home, and everything's set up for their benefit. I know in the zoo setting, there's some situations whereby, again, we kind of touched upon it. If there's a plexiglass sheet in front of the pen, some idiot's going to be pounding on it, trying to get a rise out of them. So there's a big difference between the energy, the environment that they have here versus what we do there in a zoo. And zoos are part of the exotic animal industry, which would include zoos, include circuses, more on circuses in a minute. Even something as innocent you would think is riding an elephant. That's all going to be part of it. Anybody want to guess how much money is spent internationally every year for the exotic animal industry? Again, this is worldwide, not just here in the States. It's all legal. It's all on the up and up. For example, in Taiwan, you can pay money to get a ticket to watch 2 orangutans box each other. You can still see zoos. It's really kind of faded out here, thankfully, in the U.S. There's still some smaller ones that are traveling. It's an $18 billion industry. $18 billion industry. So we're going to walk over here. We're going to say hi to Boo. I'm going to pick it up.
Crust.
Yeah.
I couldn't give him the crust. He would not eat it. He wanted to turn the crust on, that he would eat the
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what they would do for the birds, they would swoop down and they would go out and get the crust for the birds. They would leave it for the birds. Pooh Bear, and the 4 grizzly bears came from the roadside zoo down there. And as I mentioned, I volunteered for a long time. Last year was the first time I actually went into the field. So I helped Jim bring back 2 of the grizzly bears. More on them in a minute. The guy that had them, nice guy. I think his heart was in the right place, but he was in way over his head. He had his peak 100. He's way out in the boondocks. Not that you know where this is at, but in Troy, Alabama, not far from the Florida Panhandle. And he was way off in the boondocks. Just he and his wife were there running his roadside zoo. And the USDA had given him multiple warnings saying, you gotta, better enclosures, you gotta put these barrier fences up. It's gotta be a much more safe environment for people. Well, everyone found a new home except for the 4 grizzly bears, and then Pooh Bear and Blue Bear. And we got a call from the tiger rescue that brought in the tigers and explained the situation. Basically, we had not agreed to take them in, they're going to be euthanized. So thankfully we did that. Because let's go over now and say hi to the grizzly bear. Hi, what's up? Oh, good to see you too, Rocky. He and I are buddies. Hi, Rocky.
Yeah.
Did you have a good week? Did you have a good week? Good to see you too, big guy. Hi. How you doing, handsome? Hi, what's up? What's up, handsome? Good to see you too. Yeah. So this is Rocky. So I went with Jill and Jim. We brought back Rocky and his girlfriend Miranda. And when we first went down there, the guy, Mike, that had the roadside zoo. Thank you, Rocky. Hi, well, hi. This is Rocky, and this is Smokey over here. Hi, Smokey. And the girls are eating. Hey, Smokey, what's up, you guys? They were all models. Come get your picture taken with bear cubs. And Wisconsin, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Nevada, there are no state laws prohibiting the ownership of exotics. So he was used as a photo prop. And with Rocky here, you guys saw him standing up as we're walking up here. When we went there, we didn't know how quickly they're going to respond, how much they're going to cooperate. So It was like 95 to 100 degrees. Heat index was over 100 the day we picked him up. And Rocky, literally, when he saw me get out of the truck and walk over, he got up, walked over to me, and like I'm looking at you now, he stared at me. It felt like for a minute, but he stared at me for like 10 seconds, just kind of reading me.
Yeah.
And then he nodded his head and then walked away. Hey boys, what's up? Miranda, come here, Miranda. Hey, Rocky.
Don't look at mine. Mine are whiter than yours.
So our initial plan was to bring back the 2 girls, but when Miranda went into the, we've got a rolling crate. So my job was to stand on top of the rolling crate, holding that 250-pound bar up, and she went in right away.
Hi, buddy.
We weren't sure if he was going to cooperate or not, but he did, because they saw Miranda go in. I know you would. I know. He wants grass, so I'll feed them some grass. Different pictures. They were one of only 2 places in Wisconsin that actually has grizzly bears, so let you guys take the pictures.
Hey, buddy. He's going to follow you.
No. Air came to a can and so it was tight, and we were into the galley area, sitting around, opened it up, went into 2 loaves of bread, ate them.
Bears eat everything.
Yeah. This long, this high, he could actually cut wood this thick with a cup. He couldn't saw through this canvas bag. That's how thick the bag was, and the bear just went and opened it up with 4 slash marks. I'm like, holy crap. So just the sharpness of the claws and the raw strength, he rips through the can.
They love grass, so we feed it to them as long as we can. So they were models. Come get your picture taken, the bear cubs. And again, if we had not been contacted, if we had not agreed to go ahead and bring them in, they're going to be euthanized. As you can tell, they've got so much personality. The pen at their end's about 2.5 times the size of the pen that came in. Very small, very cramped quarters. They didn't have any shelter to speak of away from the elements. Not that it's going to be freezing cold down in Alabama, but getting out of the rain and all that, they didn't have access to any kind of a shelter. So I bonded pretty quickly with Miranda and Rocky on the way back. We had to stop every 3 hours to get them fresh water. And then the last night that hotel we stopped at had an outdoor light we could plug in. So we've got an air conditioner inside of their inside of the truck that allowed them to go and cool off. Look at Miranda right now. And they are hysterical. They love showers. So this past summer, on the really, really hot days, they had we have a huge pool for them. So they would all kind of like in a sauna or a hot tub kind of sit in the pool, and Rocky would be like, literally moving his body to go ahead and give him a shower. So hi, Miranda. They were very underweight when they first arrived. This is Miranda. And this is Smokey over here. Oh, I'm sorry, Bandit over here. Hi, girls. Hi, girls. What's up? They're looking for you. Thank you, sweetheart. You gave me a kiss. I'll give you a little something. All right, Rocky.
Get them all standing there.
They are very well behaved. Hey, Rocky.
Adrian!